Hello there, and welcome to the Guns Magazine podcast. I'm your host and the editor of Guns Magazine, Brent Wheat. We've got a great episode today. I was in the neighborhood of Roy Huntington's place, 8 hours away in Missouri, and we did a lot of fun stuff, but most noteworthy, we went to the range and shot some submachine guns. We decided maybe we ought to sit down and talk about the ins and outs of actually owning a sub gun. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsors. Introducing the 4 Patriots Solar Go Fridge, a revolutionary solar-powered fridge on wheels that can protect your food, drinks, and medicine during power outages. This is not an ordinary cooler. The Solar Go Fridge is a refrigerator, freezer, and deep freeze all in one. It can recharge for free in sunlight and even power your phone in a pinch. Plus, its portable design means you can take it with you anywhere, ensuring your essentials stay safe and cool while camping, fishing, and hunting. Right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use the code GUNMAG to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store, including the amazing Solar Go Fridge. Don't let a power outage catch you off guard. Just go to 4patriots.com and use the code GUNMAG to get 10% off. Creedmoor Sports is your destination for all things precision shooting. Whether you're new to the sport, an experienced target shooter, or a die-hard competitive shooter, Creedmoor Sports has what you need to take your game to the next level. Visit creedmoorsports.com. Well, good afternoon, Roy and Guns Magazine podcast fans. Welcome to the podcast. And yes, it doesn't look like it normally does. I was just in the neighborhood here in Missouri, and I ran into Roy Huntington, of all things.
Yeah, he does that all the time to me. He goes, hey, I happen to be in my neighborhood. And he lives like 800 miles away. Yeah. And so it's like you didn't know that you were going to be in my neighborhood. So, but he's always welcome. So welcome.
Well, thank you very much. And this is Roy's, not man cave. This is the, what do you call it?
This is my shop. And because a man cave is not something that I do. That's where the guys go and drink beer and talk about football and stuff like that. And we don't do that here.
Well, it's the imaginarium.
This is the imaginarium. And I stole that from Disneyland because he has that. And they're Imagineers is what the engineers are. Because this is a shop where I do all my kind of creative work and build furniture and weld things and fix things and make stuff. And so this is probably just about almost one of my favorite places to be.
Well, excellent. And in theory, after we record this, we're going to do a shop tour. So that might be the next Guns Magazine podcast episode. But right now, we're going to talk. You can tell we're a little disheveled. I haven't shaved today. My hair's all a mess. We've been out shooting at an undisclosed range at a small event, and we were shooting an MP5 SD. Which, for those that don't know, that's a suppressed, fully automatic MP5. And they used to be a lot more popular because the British SAS used them to take down
the Iranian embassy.
And everybody had them. And back in the day, back when I was young and high speed, about 67 years ago, I carried one on the SWAT team and it rocked. But the reason we're talking about it is because we were discussing this particular gun and how cool they are, and we heard how much it costs now. And we decided, we've all had a lot of fully automatic weapons. We don't, either one of us currently own any Class 3, but we're very familiar with them. We know a lot of folks that have them. Let's talk about what it's like to own a Class 3 weapon. And some of the stuff, if you're saying, man, I got to have one of these, there's some things to think about before you get started. So the cost is really non-negotiable at this point, but let's talk about cost. The gun we were shooting today, it was significantly more expensive than my first house, and used.
Well, 3 years ago, pre-pandemonium, you could buy a really nice Thompson for about $25,000. You could buy a gun like we're talking about, the HK MP5 SD, for around the same $25,000, $27,000. The gun we were just shooting cost $50,000.
5 0
0
0 0
and
0.
And it's that old supply and demand thing. I mean, there's a finite number of them, and so when they change hands, they almost always increase in value. And so, everybody I know who's ever had Class 3 guns, when they go to sell them, they always make money. Now, I have to balance that with the fact that you have burned up a ton of ammunition while you owned it.
Exactly.
So-
And therein lies the next part of the cost equation is, oh, I know it goes through a lot of ammo, but who cares? We're having a lot of fun. You do care at we shot it, I don't know, 15 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And we burned, and we were being very slow and
Very
doing a lot
slow.
of semi-auto fire.
Yep.
And we burned through.
Do 300 rounds, 350 rounds.
Like that.
And it didn't feel like it at all.
No.
I mean, it was because you load a 32 round magazine, I think there, and it's like burp, 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 burp. Oh, that was fun. Click. I'm empty already.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah. You know what the problem though is, or not the problem, but the part that always amazes me is that we had some novice shooters with us and we let them shoot the gun. And the first time they shot, they did exactly what every single one does. They shoot it and their eyes light up, their face lights up, and they go,
"Oh, my.
That was fun. Can I do it again?" And hence the burning up of ammunition.
Lots and lots of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So, factor in the cost of the gun, which is going to be as much as a house purchase or a very nice car type thing. And then the ammunition, if you want to go spend an afternoon with a sub gun, oh my, you're talking cases and cases of ammo. And even if you're getting cheap 9mm reloads, which of course probably won't work about 3/4 of the time, you're going to have all kind of stoppages and stuff. Or if you're going to reload, you better plan on reloading every night during the winter in your basement just to keep up with the demand for this thing.
Yeah, and of course, you're chasing brass all over the country, and I mean, you better be committed. You know. Now, the other side of the coin is, can you own a machine gun? And unless you live in one of the communist states, yes, you probably can. You do have to qualify. You don't have to have a Class 3 license, but you do have to pay the transfer fee, $200, I think it is right now, like a suppressor, and then it takes about a year. But you can own a full auto if you want to.
And given the current political climate, if you have the resources to do that and you haven't done it already, man, I would be doing it as soon as you finish watching this episode.
Yeah.
Get it started. I'm not an expert since I don't personally own one. I've always had them issued to me. Thank you very much. Or I know friends that have them. But my suggestion would be probably hire an attorney that knows all the ins and outs of Class 3. I mean, you can certainly do it yourself.
Yeah.
But there's guys that specialize in that, and there's some issues of establishing trusts and all that, especially if you're going to get a suppressor, which if you're going into all the trouble, might as well get a snuffer to go with it. But it's money well spent just to hire one of these attorneys that deals with that and can just walk you through it, because you're not going to get in trouble if you don't do the paperwork right. But after you've spent a year doing that and waited, and you find out because you didn't sign this line or failed to initial it, now you're at the back of the line again, and politics have changed.
Yeah, and a Class 3 dealer will walk you through all that kind of stuff, and a lot of times now that you can get a trust just simply as sort of part of the process. And the reason why you want a trust is that you put your wife, you put your daughter, you put your dog, on the trust, because then that way if you die or get run over by a truck, the gun remains the ownership of the trust. And because otherwise, if it's just in your name and you die, guess what? Your wife can't keep the gun because she wasn't on the license. And so, I mean, you're crazy right now. Like you say, if you buy a suppressor and you don't have a trust, you're crazy. And it's easy. So right now, I think the cheapest full auto that I'm seeing is about $15,000 to $18,000, You can sometimes get one of the old Cobra, the Mac 10s or something. You can sometimes get some of the Soviet PPSH, that kind of stuff. Sometimes grease guns are still relatively affordable from what I hear, but you're still looking at $15,000 or $20,000. Now, having said that, though, it's like putting gold coins in your pocket.
True.
So really you're just sort of loaning your money to the machine gun for however long you keep it, and then it'll pay you back.
However, as we've recently witnessed with pistol braces, nothing says that your investment suddenly becomes a big weight around your neck.
That's true.
And a felony because of political winds of change.
At the stroke of a pen.
At the stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
So I would strongly advise against considering a machine gun as an investment. If it is, that's great. Life's happy. Everybody's happy. But I wouldn't do it under the guise of, well, I'll spend that $50,000 now, but I'll get it all back and more later. Maybe you will. Hope you do.
Yeah.
But you may not. So I'm going to go into basically my opinion now. Because if a guy really wants a machine gun or a gal, and you have the wherewithal financially to do it, you'll figure out a way. You'll get the paperwork done. You'll ignore the cost of ammo and deal with all the legalities and all that stuff. But I guess what I would say, and the reason that has stopped me, is what I call the hot tub effect. I had a hot tub. I loved my hot tub. There are pictures of me in my hot tub when it's 20 below. But you know what? When we moved, I didn't take the hot tub with me. And the reason being, for all the fun I had when I was in that hot tub, there's 365 days in the year. And as much as I love that thing, it just wasn't worth it. And I guess my argument against owning a fully automatic Class 3 kind of gun is, yes, they are a huge bushel of fun. But after you've shot them, what are you going to do now? You're not going to hunt with it. If you spend an entire day, you're going to burn up millions of dollars of ammo. You're very limited on who you can, sell to and even the process. So I would almost suggest that if you want to shoot a machine gun or you want to shoot it regularly, there are places you can go and pay for that honor. And I would say at the end of the day, you're still going to be money ahead by doing that a couple of times a year than just trying to buy one yourself. And again, I'm not dissuading anybody from buying. If you got it, please buy one, exercise your freedom, and invite me. But I would think long and hard before owning a machine gun personally. So, Roy,
it's
agree,
a bit
disagree?
I've owned sailboats, and it's a bit like boat ownership. The happiest days when you buy it, the other happiest days when you sell it. But there's this adage in the boating community: is the best boat is the one your buddy owns.
Yeah,
because then you can go boating, and then when you're done that day, he has to do the cleanup, he has to do everything. And I think machine guns may be that way. Go to Las Vegas, go to shoot the indoor machine gun range, spend a few $100s, get it out of your system. It's really fun, and now you're good.
Yep.
But most of the people who I know who own full auto guns, there are two categories. They're number one, they are fanatical. That's all they do. They go to every event. They go to every, that's what they do. They're members of clubs. That's all they talk about. They know the history. And so there's nothing wrong with that, but that's fine. But the casual gun owners I know who pop for a machine gun, it's just what Brent says. They shoot it, they play with it a little bit, and then it sits in the safe. Mm-hmm. Because in order to shoot your sub gun like we were shooting, it starts at 500 rounds.
Yeah.
It really does. Because 500 rounds will last you maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes, and that's just goofing off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So they are expensive, but another plus, I think, for me is the fact that if you're a video gamer and then you fire a real machine gun at a real target, you'll see that it is nothing like your video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then true. Even that, they should go rent one and try it.
Yep. And again, you just focus on the aspect of what are you really going to do with it? It's fun, no doubt, but are you going to be in an entry stick for somebody? If so, well, probably they issue you one. Mm-hmm. To impress your friends, well, maybe you'd be better off buying a Corvette, because then you can drive around and show everybody,
It's true.
I love them. I love them. They're, we were just commenting today, aside from the people we were watching shoot, just us. We're old and jaded and worn out, but there's just something about lighting it up all the way. And mm-hmm. I get that, but it's one of those things, be careful what you wish for, because mm-hmm. unless you're just a high net worth individual and it means nothing, which in that case, I would say definitely go buy one. But for the rest of us real earth people that, have a mortgage and things like that, think long and hard. I don't know.
You know what? It's like your neighbor who owns a puppy. Oh, you have a puppy. Oh my gosh, can I hold it? Yes. Okay, scratch it, play with it, kisses your face, it loves you, you play, you bark, you throw the ball and everything's good. And then you hand it back to the neighbor. And now you have no obligation to raise this puppy.
Exactly.
And a machine gun is a lot like that, Yep. Because I know when I had my sailboat, I got so tired of being the host You know, it was like, because everybody wanted to go sailing. Everybody wanted to use my barbecue. Everybody wanted to come drink on my boat.
Yep.
And then I ended up paying for everything, making sure nobody fell off, making sure nobody drowned,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And then if you own a machine gun, it's a lot like that. You know, it's like people come over and say, oh, can I shoot it?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, okay. Brrr, there's 50 rounds. There's 15 or 20 bucks.
Right there.
Right? Just like that.
One magazine.
Yeah, one magazine. And anyway, so I guess we don't want to be naysayers because they are a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that are a lot of fun, but it is within your ability to do it. And so there you go.
Well, great information. And if you're watching on YouTube, let us know what you think. If you probably aren't going to tell us if you have a machine gun because that makes you a target for theft, which was something we worried about when we were talking about this. We were very vague about, where the gun is. But, let us know your thoughts if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea. So, Roy, well, thank you for inviting us into the imaginarium.
The imaginarium. Now let's go do a shop tour.
Yes, exactly. So you're never supposed to foreshadow in an episode because things may happen and it may not happen. But I'm telling you, in theory, next week's episode will be a shop tour of the imaginarium. But for right now, Roy Huntington, thanks for joining us on the Guns Magazine podcast.
Always fun.
It's always great talking to Roy Huntington, and hopefully we gave you a couple of things to think about before you write that check for your own submachine gun. Before we go, please make sure you check out our great sponsors. First is forpatriots.com. They have all of your preparedness supplies and needs. If you go to forpatriots.com and use the code GUNMAG at checkout, you get 10% off your first order. That's the number 4, the word patriots.com. Use the code GUNMAG at checkout for that 10% off. And of course, if you like long-distance shooting or long-range hunting, check out Creedmoor Sports. They've got everything you need. That's creedmoorsports.com. Well, on behalf of everybody here at FMG Publications, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, reminding you once again, now get out there and get shooting.